On the freeway, knocking Young Jeezy. On the freeway, knocking Young Jeezy. Chop or die, 102. Chop or die, what you gon' do? Boy, I ain't found my niche. Chasing my bag, I ain't found my niche. Boy, I'm trying to get rich. Mask on, mask off, nigga chasing check. I'm about a bag. I'm about a bag. When I pull up, I'm about a bag. When I bounce out, I'm about a bag. I'm about a bag.
I get a mic check 1 2.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.
Oh, that's what we're doing, huh? All right, we're right into it. So it looks like you like rap. Just like that.
No, I know nothing about rap.
Nothing about rap. All right,
No.
cool. So what's your name?
My name is Darla.
Darla. Is that
Yes.
with the E or an I?
That's what the what? No E or I.
Okay.
Was that a trick question?
You answered it. Darla, huh?
Yes.
So you're from Tennessee.
I'm not from Tennessee.
Tell us about yourself. Come on, man. What are you
Okay,
doing?
well.
What are you doing?
Born and raised in San Francisco.
San Francisco, Bay
Yes,
Area.
San Francisco Bay Area, born and raised. My mom moved out here probably
Here.
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yes.
What's the biggest difference? I just wanted to know. I'm starting fast. I'm charged up. The coffee's kicking in.
Okay, right
Here
in.
we go. Sacramento, San Francisco.
Yes. So the biggest difference, right?
Right now.
The biggest difference, I would say, is city and country. So I feel like Sacramento is more country, and San Francisco, of course, is a city. So it's a fast life. Nothing rarely closes. You know, you come out here, everything's closed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Yeah, people dress different. So automatically, most of the time, well, really all of the time, people can tell off the bat that I'm not from here.
Not because of your accent.
I don't think I have accent.
Me either.
Yeah, no.
Just making sure. Okay.
No way.
Cool. So you're 21?
No, I'm 32.
32 years old.
Yes,
San
32 years old.
Francisco.
San
Native.
Francisco, native.
32.
Yes, 32. I mean,
Not
thank you, though. I mean, I'll take that any day.
Well, yeah.
I can take 22, you know? That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what brings you to Sacramento?
My mom's been here since my senior year in high school. When she first moved here, I did not come with her. I stayed in San Francisco. And then I've kind of been back and forth, though, ever since then.
Was that easy for you to do? Kids? No kids? What?
I have kids. I have 2 kids, a girl and a boy, 14 and 9.
Started young.
I did. I was 19. 19, yes.
Do you think that made a difference? You think like, you said 14 and 9?
Mm-hmm.
So 5-year difference. Do you think
Right.
if you had both later, it would change anything in your life? Or
I don't think that it would have changed anything. I definitely can appreciate having my daughter younger. And I say that because I felt like I had way more patience with her, as opposed to, I mean, I'm only comparing the two with having her and then having my son, because I have my son at 25. So with her, I was way more patient. I took time out to really kind of help mold and teach, things like that.
like time, what is time?
Just, you know, I made like personalized tapes for her because we would commute from San Francisco to Vallejo every morning. So I made tapes for her in Spanish and counting, things like that. So we would listen to the tapes back and forth to San Francisco during our commute. So that's what I mean by time. We did Hooked on Phonics.
Old school.
Definitely old school. I feel like I'm an old school parent, yes.
30 years old.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
So technically, yeah, you are old school.
Yeah, technically I am old school. That's funny. I mean, it's it's funny to hear you say it. I kind of brush it off when my daughter says it because I'm like, okay, well, I'm your mom, so you're supposed to feel that way. But hearing you say it is hilarious.
So, Hooked on Phonics, has that excelled her in education?
I think so. She was reading by the time she went to kindergarten, like reading books, kind of had books. So, of course, they tried being here in Sacramento. They tried to skip her twice. I didn't let her skip because I just believe a child go through each grade and there's a purpose. So I felt like if they were to skip her, it would kind of force her to grow up faster than I felt like she should. So I told them to be creative, and she was like a TA in kindergarten, like helping the other kids write her name. Like it was, she definitely has, star qualities. So when she becomes someone, we'll look back on all her tapes and all her this interview, and she's like, I could say I knew she was gonna be a star.
Right. So I have a question.
Yes.
Usually this is where the conversations go a little.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say your kid is doing good in school.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to promote them. If they mature faster, would that not be a better thing, just on how the things are going on in this world?
I don't think it would be a better thing necessarily. I feel like every grade is made for a purpose. I have a few people in my family that was skipped, and it to me, it seemed like they had a harder life than just going through each grade.
Harder in what way?
Just like real fast. So I had a little cousin who was 14 in as a senior or a junior, and she tried to keep up with 16 and 17-year-olds. So she was basically forced to live the lifestyle of a 16 and 17-year-old. So it was like she was dating boys early then, sneaking out, and just things that doesn't come until you get age appropriate, I feel like.
What is age appropriate to you?
Hey,
Mom, I'm pregnant.
No.
Well, we have to keep in mind the cons when we think about the good things of it. So,
okay.
If she was to go and do anything earlier than you would have thought,
mm-hmm.
the possibility of being pregnant early is highly likely. So, hey, Mom, I'm pregnant. At what age do you say, I'm okay with that?
An adult.
What is an adult?
18. I mean, I wouldn't, it's not necessarily that I would be okay with it, because I feel like she can come to me at 20, and if she's not done with college, then I probably most likely wouldn't be okay with it, but I would accept it because she's an adult. So I say 18 just for the simple fact that she would be an adult, legally grown, and, hopefully able to take care of her responsibilities.
Gotcha. So you think socially she may have a hard time, or kids may have a hard time socially when they're skipped a grade?
I think so. Yeah, I feel like they're just forced with the older crowd. And as we know, peer pressure is real and is definitely becoming, more and more bullying and things like that. So I definitely think it forces them to grow up faster. And it's just something that and I could be wrong. It just wasn't something that I was willing to gamble with. So I felt like the teachers could be creative. And now looking back, she's 14 and going to the 9th grade. And she would have been 14 going to the 10th grade or the 11th grade. That means she would have been going to prom at 15 years old, 14, right. 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like I'm not ready to let my baby go at 14 or 15. Right. Oh my gosh, I'm setting you up for a prom. I got to get your hair, makeup. It's just, right. It's not something that I wanted to experience.
Even though you're 30.
Even though I'm 32.
32.
Yeah. Yes. Add my 2 years, honey.
Okay. That's cool. So you have a son as well.
I have a son as well. Yeah.
How is that?
What do you mean? How is how is it having?
You have a boy. It's not the same.
Definitely different personalities, for sure. Right. My daughter, I would say for the most part, she's just maybe what every mother would want in a daughter. She's well behaved, she gets good grades, she listens, she's respectful, things like that. My son, he's a boy's boy, and then he's just like me as far as personality. So it's a little scary because he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, regardless of the consequence. So he's definitely a risk taker.
Out of the two?
Out of the two, yes. He's like my rebellious one.
Being a woman raising a son. Father in the life?
Father in the life,
Father
yes.
in the life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, we have to applaud these things.
Oh, definitely. I feel like I really lucked up with their father. He's definitely a good dad, a provider. So I have no complaints there. It's like when my friends, complain, I have no words of wisdom. Like I have words of wisdom, of course, but I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that I've never been through. So I can't touch on something that I've never been through, and I'm definitely grateful for that.
Is this something you knew ahead of time? Because most women don't think about the man that they get with in the moment, because again, some cons to some people's lifestyles could be a baby. So you don't know what man you're going to get when it comes time.
I agree.
So is this even something that women think about, or that you even, like, you guys talk about, like, hey girl, you know what, I think it's time. We're going to take the condom off.
You know what? The funny story with this, this is funny.
I can't wait to hear it. I want to laugh. I just want to laugh.
No, it's not even really funny. It's just like when I think back to the question that you just asked me, it's like when we first met, he wasn't my type. So I was just like, no, I wasn't attracted to him. He sent somebody over there to talk to me, and I was like, no, well, tell him to come over here and talk to me himself. So we ended up talking and things like that. But fast forwarding to when I got pregnant, I wasn't gonna keep my daughter. So I was just like, no, I'm too young. I can't have And so when I went to him, this is how I really kind of had a feeling. When I went to him and told him, he was like, well, whatever you want to do, it's your choice. I'm not going to make you, I'm not going to tell you what decision to make. If you want to keep it, I'm on board. If you want to get rid of it, just let me know, I'm on board. So that was kind of comforting to know that I have, the decision. Because like I said, with my friends, it was like, I'm not ready for this, this, that, and the third. I need you to get rid of it and stuff like that. So that was comforting. But I wasn't supposed to, my plan was to have an abortion. That was my plan. And because that was my plan, I went maybe like 6 months. And nobody knew. So my mom kept like, I know you're pregnant. I'm like, no, I'm not. Because my family don't believe in abortions. So, of course, I had to keep this secret if I was planning on getting an abortion.
Right.
And, yeah.
Cool story, brah. Okay. Well, but that's actually a good thing. And those are telltale signs right there. You might not get the text back. You might say you need to talk, and it's like, I don't really have time.
But it was crazy just how how it ended up, because like I said, he wasn't my type, and then just having him say those comforting words to me, it was kind of like, oh, okay, the light kind of switched on. But yeah, it's crazy.
So he's not your type. Let's see. We keep going. We're just gonna keep going.
Okay.
So he's not your type.
Well, he wasn't my type.
He wasn't your type at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep him at that, on the right side. So
okay.
we don't have the left side.
Okay.
What is your type? Yeah. If them DMs was popping. All right.
Let me not touch the mic.
Okay. Now that didn't happen.
Right.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Where were we? Oh, well, okay, cool. So we got, what is your type? Boom, shotgun. Where we at?
So, as far as like everything, like
I don't know. You said.
Okay.
I don't know what the type is anyway. Just trying to figure it out.
I don't know if I have a type. I know that I am a sapiosexual though, so that means I'm attracted to intelligence. So I do like men who can touch on, maybe if you could touch a little bit on every subject, you know, just have maybe a slight bit of knowledge. That's attractive to me.
So if that guy is like, let's say you say, hey, I was at the store and I got racially profiled and all that, and then he goes, dang, that's what's crazy. Would that not be enough? Is that what you mean? Like he has to have something to say, like, hey, I know what you mean. It happened to me,
or just not have something to say. Be like, you know, I never like say, oh, well, dang, I never experienced that, or it opens up a floor for discussion, you know what I'm saying? So to be able to touch on the topics that I bring up as far as being racially profiled and giving examples and things like that, if he can touch on the subjects of it and make sense and know what he's talking about, then that's attractive to me. As far as physical, I would just say somebody that, you know, maintains themselves well. So like nice teeth and
no husky fellas is what you're saying.
I didn't say that. Why? So husky people don't take care of their teeth?
Husky. I thought you said in shape.
I said take good care of their bodies. So I feel like a husky person can take good care of their bodies.
I would love to know what you mean. If you don't mind asking.
Not like
I would really love to.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And for the record, I only go off of what you said.
That's so funny. Okay, so maybe they know that I'm trying to think if I could answer this question and not sound like a crazy person. Let me think about my answer. Because if they're husky, then that means they're not taking care of their body, right?
I don't know.
Right. Okay, so
the listeners will be the judge of that. So okay, let's stay off the husky. Seems like that isn't going anywhere too fast. If a man is missing a tooth in the front, but he has all the other attributes.
What's all the other attributes? Like everything else, like financially stable.
I'm moving my hands, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever your type is.
Oh yeah, definitely. My sister's a dentist, so.
No, I'm just saying he was like that's his thing. You know how Nas had the chipped tooth and it was just.
So he wanted to keep the missing tooth.
Well, it was kind of like I don't know, whatever the case is, but
it's
this
like
is
a
like
fashion?
his thing. Well, no, it's not a fashion. It's his thing. You know how some girls got like if they had like fights, they earlobes.
You couldn't even get it out.
It's like
I'm crying.
I still gotta support her wanting to wear hoops.
He said for earlobes.
So
I'm crying.
If her earlobes got split and she just never wanted to get them stitched up, should I care about that, or should I just be like that's just her thing?
I mean, clip-ons. They're clip-ons. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if, especially with my sister being a dentist, it's like I don't know if I can be okay with someone that is voluntarily keeping a missing tooth in the front of their mouth. I don't know if...
Do you have anything about yourself that could be cosmetically changed that you just feel it's just a part of you?
No.
That is an honest answer. There was a lot of conviction in the eyes. I don't think she blinked. Okay.
And a lie detector test determined you were telling the truth.
So we have this husky,
You got me
no
crying.
tooth guy. We have the husky, no tooth guy.
He's husky and he has no tooth.
This is what you're describing as no. This isn't your type at all. Like, he can't. What are you willing to deal with? Not deal. I don't want to say deal with. What would you be cool if he had a tooth and if, for whatever reason, it was not medically possible to put a tooth back in? If he was with you, y'all was, you know, together for a year, bam, got in a fight, all 4 of his front teeth come out. You still gonna stay there? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you want. I am.
You know what? To be honest, I don't know. I think.
I mean, these are things people have to think about. Like, I don't mind being with you right now, but I wasn't expecting you to be paralyzed from the neck down.
I mean, and that's true. I feel like
that's true. That if somebody's paralyzed from the neck down and you were with them for a year, you have a hard time with that.
See, it's kind of selfish because I feel like I would have a hard time with it maybe, but I would feel some type of way if somebody had a hard. You know, if somebody didn't want to accept it, if it was me. I feel like I would understand, though, for sure. But I would definitely...
Forward. As far as moving forward, though.
As far as moving forward, yeah. So say, like, God forbid something happens to me and I'm paralyzed. Like, I would definitely have a hard time accepting the fact that somebody didn't want to move forward with me.
Right.
But then I don't know if I can honestly say that I would want to move forward with that person. It's like, if we were married, then okay. You know, I signed up for better or for worse, for sure. I feel like that's the only thing that deserves, for better or for worse, to be married. So I get to choose, you know, if we're not married, whether it's a year or 4 years, I get to choose my happiness at this point. So it's like if taking care of you every single day, you know, and we're not married is stripping me from my happiness, then no, it's not something that I'm willing to, like, I'm not willing to sacrifice my happiness for it.
I have two questions. So we have marriage. Now, let's just say you thought, you're God, so we're back on the right side. If you would have never had a baby, you know, like sometimes you don't meet people at the best them.
Right.
You know, so that year of you guys being together, probably, obviously you're not going to get married in the first year. It's just, it doesn't really make sense. And for some people it does.
Some people it does.
Some people it does. But for some people that don't, a year isn't really going to work. This could have possibly been your future husband, but this kind of curveballed it based on an accident.
I feel like everything happens for a reason. So if wait, why is that funny?
Hey, we didn't get married in time. Sorry, Charlie.
I was just saying, like, I didn't sign up for this, you know. And it's like I don't even know if that's a selfish thing for real. I honestly don't know, because it happens sometimes with me. I don't know if I'm being selfish or not, because sometimes I can be selfish. So I don't know if that's a selfish thing to say or if that's, like, you know, a right thing to say, but it's honestly how I feel. So.
Right. Okay. So in the second question, what's the biggest difference in a relationship when you get married? You've been together for 3 years, and then you get married. What in the relationship changes?
When you're married? Well, in my opinion, because I'm not married. So.
It would still be your opinion because your way probably wouldn't work for someone else's.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm not giving my personal experience. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right, so I feel like the whole purpose in being in a relationship is to kind of mold and push you towards and help you grow towards being in a marriage. I feel like nothing really changes, but me personally, I feel like as a wife, I would definitely be submissive. And I wouldn't probably be as submissive in a relationship as opposed to being in a marriage. I definitely believe in letting a man be a man and letting him lead the way. So that's definitely something that would change. I would definitely consult with my husband first before making any decisions in a relationship. I'll just, make my own decision as I see fit. But when I'm married, I would definitely consult with my husband first before making any decision. And I will always think about and take in deep consideration about putting his feelings first. I think I feel like I would have like maybe 3 times to say no to sex. Other than that, I feel like, sex is whenever he wants it as my husband.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not just do that anyway? That's what I'm saying. Like, for marriage to happen, for a man, for marriage, you get this. I'm kind of already getting it. So if we get married, what do I get now?
That's what I just said. So
I'm saying this is because everybody's different.
Right.
Right? Let's just say there's a certain percentage of people who, let's say they have a boyfriend, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. You're together for a year, you move in, you get, and then you do whatever's that. You have a kid.
Right.
All right, cool, we're going to get married. Sometimes that's a thing.
Right.
If that is a thing, how does that... I don't know. I don't even know what happened just now. I forgot we were talking about.
Like, why? You said, like, why not do it now?
Why not just do it now? Because it's like, we've been doing it for the last 2 years
But see,
as a family, so... The married now, with me getting all the perks.
Right.
Bam, we're married now. Why do I need to marry you? What is the thing?
So that's why names. Like, it's just.
What I'm saying, you're already doing it though.
But I'm not doing everything.
What wouldn't you, if you're living together? I
get to choose. I get to choose when I want to have sex or when I don't want to have sex. Whenever I don't. It's just like certain things are taken off the table. It's like certain positions. Maybe you're not gonna get all of the freak when it's there. And I'm capable of being X, Y, and Z. So it's like give you little samples and feed you little bird crumbs. Right. Feed a pigeon bird crumbs. The same pigeon is gonna come back every day. To see what you got next or see how much more you have to give it. So I don't know. I just give it out in little increments because, like the same thing. Why marry you? And my grandma always said, "Why buy a cow if you can get the milk for free?" So it's like with dealing with my kids, I bounce. Like I feel like okay, enough time has elapsed. We're not at this point. It's time for me to go.
What is that point? What is a point?
Just like the marriage.
No, what I don't like. You would know the point. You were in it.
Oh, what was the point after like what? 8 years? 8 years is a long time.
8 years of consistently being
in a relationship.
Somewhat healthy. Was it healthy? See, sometimes because you think about the relationship.
Right.
We've been together for 10. Let's just 10 is even
right.
breakdown. We've been together for 10 years, but we were really together at the worst time of our lives.
Right.
Me trying to find out who I am.
Right.
You trying to find out who you are. So the first 3 years was really just BS.
Right.
So we swiped that away. You did your thing for a year. I did my thing for a year. We came back, but we still always kept in contact.
Right.
Do we really hold on to 10 whole years of you not being who you really were supposed to be at whatever point?
Okay, so with that, and that's a good question, but with that, I didn't hold on. It's like, okay, when we started back after let's throw the 8 years out the window, right? When we tried it again, it was him that was holding on to it. You know what I'm saying? So he was holding on to me not knowing who I was, and me, he basically, I was 17 years old, when we first started, when we first met and started talking and everything, and he was older.
17 years old. Because I don't know why anybody would not be 17 years old and not be 17 years old with somebody else. So mentally he was older, I agree. Go ahead though. I just
Mentally, physically, all that, he was older. So it's like, but he held on to a lot of things. So afterwards, when we came back and tried to start it again, it was like he was harboring all these old things. So where it's like, okay, I needed time to figure out who I was, to grow up, to be a mom. You know what I'm saying? I needed to figure out all of these things into one. So it didn't work because of that. I felt like I was steadily evolving, and you know what I'm saying? We kind of, like, I was evolving this way and he was evolving that way. So
right.
We grew apart. But yeah, so I definitely agree. Like, maybe, you're not at your best and you have to go through bumps and bruises, and it's not a whole healthy 8 years, but I definitely can say that I did try again when I felt like I knew what I wanted out of life, out of myself, who I was and what I wanted to do, and my expectations.
Right. Seems like you have everything all figured out.
Not everything.
Obviously. But so have you always had goals?
Definitely. I make it a point to kind of set goals monthly, weekly, daily, yearly. I'm very realistic with it so that I don't set myself up for failure. So yes, I definitely have a goal in which the time I want to be married and all of that.
What is one failure that you've learned from that you're going to make sure that your kids don't make that same type of mistake / failure type?
A failure just like growing up, or period?
Your life. I don't know you.
One failure that I...
Something that you just, you know what, this is something that really changed my outlook on this, and this is why I am who I am today. Unless you've never learned from anything you failed on, or you're just perfect.
No, of course not.
Wasn't ready for this question. You said failure. Yes!
Wait, when did I say failure? So one failure that I've made that I learned from that I don't want my kids to make?
Yeah, that you're going to make sure, obviously if you didn't do good in school, you're going to make sure that your kids do good in school. So, something like that. Nah.
See, that's kind of a tricky question.
It wasn't all the way my fault. It was
No. Everything was my fault. But I'm just saying, it was a lot of things that I did, but I fought a lot in high school. I went to 5 high schools, so I feel like that was, pretty much a failure. I had to graduate during summer school, so that was pretty much, it wasn't a failure because I did it, but at the same time, I didn't do it, the way that my mom wanted me to. So it's kind of, that's a tricky kind of question. Of course, I wouldn't want my daughter to have a kid at 19,
right.
But I don't look at that, me having a kid at 19, as something that I failed at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me think. I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like already my daughter makes better choices
right.
than I made at 14. I mean,
I don't want to know.
I wasn't having sex. I wasn't doing it. I mean, yeah.
So keeping it. This is why I stopped doing this for a minute.
I wasn't doing anything that I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't having sex. Let's just leave it at that. Okay? No type of sexual anything.
Okay. So a question: If you grew up in San Francisco,
yes,
fast paced. Some say if you move or you live in the city, kind of got to grow up a little faster. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. Then Sacramento.
I don't know. I'm just anywhere that is not a major city.
Right.
Fast paced is.
Yeah, fast paced.
So, do you think by you being 19, having a baby, you were kind of already pretty mature at 19, just being in the city, do you think if you took her out of an environment like that, she would grow up a little, not immature, but a little more, she won't probably be aware of certain dangers that like a major city would, you know, some of those kids are up on a lot of things a lot earlier than they are in smaller towns. So do you think that could actually hurt her in the future or help her?
You know what? That's a good question. I feel like, so first I wasn't mature at 19. Like I was still fighting. I had a fight 6 months pregnant and got stabbed. So I was nowhere near mature when I was 19. But I do feel like being born and raised in San Francisco, I want to say it exposed me to a lot of things, but really, my mom raised me in a bubble. So it really didn't, you know, like although it was fast paced, I didn't really get to feel the fast pace until when I got to middle school. It was like I snuck and did things. So, because my mom worked a lot, and I don't know if that, like, I feel like maybe if I would have been in Sacramento, then maybe I would have been different, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it's a help or hurt thing. Like, I don't know, because my daughter, like, she's done both as well. So she's been in Sacramento and she's been in San Francisco, but she hasn't been like exposed to the projects like I was, you know, so she's balanced, but now she works in the projects. So I feel, so she gets, when she first saw a girl, you know, being loud on the bus, she was just like, oh my gosh, Mom, like I had this crazy experience today, you know, just oblivious to what was going on around her. So I definitely think that she need, you know, some of the city in her for sure, because it definitely teaches you how to be diverse and how to adapt into whatever environment you're put in because of the culture of San Francisco. So I think it's important. I think in the long run, it might help her.
Right. Wow. And for some people, they don't know San Francisco does have rough areas.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's rough.
It's downtown.
That's a rough area too.
Yeah.
Besides where they put the shopping centers.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it's basically like all projects in San Francisco.
Right. So it's almost like you gotta either sacrifice. It's so many different ways you can go, because you could let her go another grade up. She's gonna still be maturing faster. And then you can put her in the city. She's still gonna mature faster. How big is the people? Because sometimes how you look attracts a certain group of people who you may not, you know, you should hang out with because of how you are growing, you know? So are you picking friends, or are you just going to say, you know what?
I don't pick friends, but I pick schools. So the schools that I pick are based off of high test scores. Things like that. So in a sense, I'm kind of picking friends, or I'm picking the crowd, you know what I'm saying? So different groups of people, of course, as we know, you get different outcomes of, you know, of, like you said, the environment. So it's like nature versus nurture. So I feel like that's probably one of the best decisions that I'm making for her as far as growing up in San Francisco. But again, like I don't feel like she's growing up fast. If anything, I feel like she's behind a lot. And I don't say behind as in a bad thing. I'm saying behind as in a good thing, because I feel like, you know, 14 now in San Francisco, they're nose piercings and half tops, and all they want to talk about is boys. And so the best thing I feel like with my daughter is we have an amazing relationship. So her and I talk, and it's like she'll come and share with me, like, you know, like I'm not friends with this person because all she wanted to do is gossip, and I really don't want to talk about that. So it kind of gives me an eye, like, okay, great. So I feed that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, daughter, that's great. Like you're right on track. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. So I feel, you know, I think it's, like I said, nature versus nurture.
Right. Well, I mean, nobody has the answers. Everybody's just trying.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
so,
Exactly.
But it's very important that you try something. Just don't do nothing.
Gotta try something.
Gotta try something. Okay, so I know people are gonna be like, okay, we get it. Okay, so we know we're gonna have to wrap it up at some point. So I have like 2 more questions. So,
Okay.
What is one thing you did yesterday? Yesterday being anything in your life that you did that you would not do tomorrow, which is your future. Has to be one.
I would say.
For those who are hearing it.
Because I did a lot of things yesterday that I wouldn't do tomorrow, so.
All right, man, look, man, you're going to answer the question. This is the closer.
I know. Let me. One thing I did yesterday. That's a hard. It's like a list.
It isn't a list. And if there is a list, you can pick one off of it.
Okay, give me. I need like that's like such a broad question. Okay, give me one example. Just give me one example.
When I get mad, I'm not gonna throw things. Cause when I threw something, my kids saw it, and that made me feel like this. So now, tomorrow, which I make like it's something that you make strides to never kind of do again. Like if you cheated before, I'm not gonna cheat again. Things like that, you know, like growing up type stuff, like something where you saw yourself like, this was weak, and now I can grow from that. And it's off to your decision. And that was a horrible example. Just throw that out there.
I would say maybe spitefulness.
Spitefulness.
Yes.
What does that mean? I don't know.
That like
from my urban community.
Evil, vindictive, revengeful.
Window breaking.
Yeah, like whatever it was to get back at you for doing.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. When I said window breaking, you said yeah, and then you went to something else.
I'm saying
like, you get mad. Oh, you cheated on me. I'm gonna go break your windows to a man's car.
Or like get a hold to your social security number and like mess up your life.
People, if you've ever wanted, ladies, if you've ever wondered why has secrets. If you've ever wondered why your man
but see that
like this.
No, it's fine. I mean, hurting people hurt people.
Right.
So that's one thing that I did in the past. You know, when I was hurt, it was a goal. I wouldn't stop at anything to make that person feel what I felt, and that's definitely something that I would not do tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because just growing up, you learn to wrongs don't make a right, and you know, just growing up, you learn. You put it aside, and karma is definitely a bitch. Can I say that? Sorry.
You've already said that.
Right.
17-year-olds with 17-year-olds.
So I'm definitely a strong believer, you know, in karma and God, and I just, you know, that's the space that I am in now. So it's definitely the spitefulness is something that I for sure wouldn't do tomorrow.
Right. Okay, and to close it out, what's one word that can describe you?
Only one?
You can max out at 4.
Dang, only 4? Let me think.
And if this is like, if I had to have a first impression of you, I would get these things from just an encounter with you. Like those 4, you know, like some people you can just tell, like, okay, they don't lie. They don't
Right. I would definitely say loyalty, honesty, I guess bubbly, like energetic. Bubbly and energetic is one word. Just I'm putting those two together.
It isn't. Spell check it. Trust me. It's not there.
It's not one word.
No. A lot of Facebook doesn't work.
And then I would just say, you know, rare.
Rare.
I feel like, yeah, one of a kind.
So,
eccentric.
Fellas, catch her on that time. Rare. Okay. All right, well, again, thanks for coming by. We're definitely going to have a part 2. I think we talked for almost an hour.
Okay, part 2.
Part 2 for sure. Again, your name is?
Darla Edwards.
Any social media?
Yes, so I'm her, she's me 1 on Snapchat.
What? He's your Listen, I just want you.
I can't deal with you. No, that is mine.
All these other people, man.
So I'm Nisha Edwards on Facebook, and then I'm her, she's me 1, all one word, on Snapchat. Yeah.
No Instagram.
I mean, I have Instagram, but I'm never on it, and it's like, I would have to go through too much to like explain it, because it's Darla Amani 36, so that's doing too much. So I got like 3 different names.
No, but you think I just explained it, and you said it was going to take you. Alright, guys.
I gotta go.
Seems like we've been here for too long. Am I here today?
No way, because then somebody be like, oh, how do you spell Amani? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't spell it.
You didn't break down he's, him, she's, her thing.
I mean, everybody knows how to spell I'm her, she's me, right?
I don't know.
And then add a 1
E's.
at the end.
Some people have 2 E's because somebody else.
No, people, but we're talking about like literally the word I'm, literally her.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like names. Names aren't involved in this one.
Okay.
As opposed to like Nisha Edwards. Now that might be 2 E's,
right.
you know. But it's Nesha, by the way.
That's good. Now, and this is supposed to be over, but I can't let you with that last statement.
What last statement?
It's crazy for me to think that there's 2 E's or 2 I's and how you spell your on how you spell your social media name, right? But I'm supposed to think bubbly and energetic. Anyway,
Well, they are words. Wait a minute. No, we're not gonna close out.
I'm glad
I said I was gonna put them together. They're kind of one and the same. Bubbly energy. You gotta put the energy behind the bubbly.
WN14. I don't know what episode this is, but you will see it. I'll put all the correct spelling on the bottom. This is crazy. I think this is the loudest audio I've ever had in my right ear. My mic got dropped 3 times. It's bananas. But anyway, thank you again. It was a pleasure. And I'm glad to see that through all the fights you've had in your career, you still have your earlobes. So anyway, just figured it out.
Earlobes, all my teeth.
All the teeth.
I'm not paralyzed. Thank you, Jesus.
And for the husky fellas out there, hop in them DMs, man. Make it believer.
No, I'm in a situationship, okay?
Situationship, we definitely need a clarification on that. I'm gonna get out of here. This bubbly, energetic person has to go, and that's the correct spelling.
I can't deal with you.
Right,
That was hilarious. You're hella funny.
okay.
Wait.